Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name is Kyle. We're going to be looking at the 2020 yard share data that I collected from last season, and we're going to just we're going to review it for the running backs. We'll kind of look at the 2021 projections that I have for running backs, and I don't know. I think if you are unfamiliar with yard share, it's a really indicative stat of how a running back is going to perform. So by being able to project yard share data, you get a really good opportunity to get a look at who might be an RB1, an RB2, and whatnot. So I do have on the fantasyfellowship.com, if you're interested in purchasing the 2021 draft kit, that's where you can find this information below. I'm going to show it to you guys and go over it for free here today. But when you get access to the 2021 draft kit, you're going to get the projections, you'll get my rankings and the cheat sheets that you can download. I just updated those over the weekend, and then just a bunch of different articles and things on here. But this yard share data study is what we are looking at today. I will be doing some videos looking at the wide receivers and the tight ends as well. But for this video only, we're going to be doing strictly the running backs. And I guess if I had to define what yard share is, what we're doing is we're taking the total amount of yards a player gets, and then we're dividing that by the total yards his offense got. So Derrick Henry last season accounted for 32.86% of the Titans' yards last season. So that was clear in a way the highest amount here, over 3.5% on the next best guy, Dalvin Cook. And if you look here at the stats, I have rushing yards, receiving yards, total yards. I have the yard share here. That's what it's filtered by. And then you can see where they finished in PPR league. So just look at this PPR finish here. You got everybody in the top 10. And this list here is running backs 1 through 10 based on yard share data. And if you just look at all the numbers here on the far right, all of them were in the top 14. So basically, all of them were almost RB1s. Antonio Gibson was running back 13, and Melvin Gordon was RB14. Those guys didn't finish in the top 12. But definitely, this is very important here. And I guess if you look at the top 9 guys, all of them were in the top 9 in PPR. So this is a really, really important stat. We'll look again if you hold on, we'll look at the projections that I have towards the end of the video. But just really important stuff here. Derrick Henry, 32.86% yard share. You see Dalvin Cook kind of in his tier on his own here at 29.29%. And then Alvin Kamara, David Montgomery, both in the 27% range. James Robinson in the 26% range, kind of all by himself. And then there's a little drop off here down into the lower 20s. Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Ezekiel Elliott, Josh Jacobs, Melvin Gordon, Nick Chubb, and Antonio Gibson, all roughly, I'll say 20% and up. That's kind of what you're looking at. Because after you look at the top 12, from Gibson to 13's Kareem Hunt, there's a good drop off here, 18.85%, a full percent almost. I guess maybe 0.5% there. But basically, if you're looking at the 20% range of total offensive yards, you want those guys because they have a really good chance of being a running back 1. If we look further down the list here at running backs 13 through 24 in yard share, you see it ranges from 18% all the way down to about 15.5%. So in my head, if I see a running back projected for 15 to 20% yard share, it looks like there's a strong chance that he's going to be at least a top 30 running back. You see, looking at all the numbers coming down here, Kareem Hunt, RB10, Sanders was 24, Ronald Jones 20, Kenyon Drake RB15, McKissick was 16, 12, 28, 26, 22, 21, 33, and 19. So really that 33 is the outlier. Otherwise, all these running backs finish in the top 28, which Gaskin, when he played last year, he was basically a fringe RB1, RB2 for sure. James Conner, he was kind of an outlier too. He didn't get to play a lot. He wasn't extremely healthy, and the Pittsburgh offense kind of struggled down the stretch last year. But some interesting names on this list, and you see, again, 15 to 20% yard share, you're looking at a top 24, top 25 back, very likely here. And we'll kind of just keep working down the list. The other thing I'm noticing too here is if you look at the total yards, let me go back to the top here. You look at the total yards, of course, Derrick Henry was a freak, over 2,000 yards. You got 1,900 yards for Cook, almost 1,700 for Kamara, 1,500 for Montgomery. It ranges all the way down to, Gibson was a little bit low here, but he had the touchdowns to boost his value. But anywhere from like 1,200 yards and up, if you see any running back projected to have more than 1,200, total rushing and receiving yards, really good chance that he's got an opportunity for a top 12, top 15 finish at the running back position for PPR. So we'll move it down the list here. And just looking at this, you see some 1,000-yard rusher or some 1,000-yard total players here. Kareem Hunt over 1,000, Miles Sanders, Ronald Jones, Kenyon Drake, Mike Davis, Clyde Edwards, David Johnson. All of those guys were safely in the top 24. Miles Sanders finished the worst at RB24. But if you see a running back going over 1,000 yards, and I don't think I have anything below here, no other running backs below here. So if you see a running back projected over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving total, strong chance that he's a running back too. So that's kind of a nice little filter there. So far, we're looking for elite backs to be roughly 24% and up. Maybe we even do 23, 22%, low 20s and up. And then anything in the low 20s, really strong chance that he's going to be a top 15 back. And then for our RB2s, we're looking at anywhere from the 15 to 18% yardage share range. And again, anything over 1,000 yards, probably a good chance that he's going to be a really good running back on his season here. And then we'll kind of just go down here. I do list running backs 25 through 50. And this is where, the numbers really start to get, a little bit wonky. It ranges from RB 45 with Frank Gore from 15.46% all the way down here to about 9.37%. And you see the lower you go here, you don't really see any numbers in the 20s. Latavius Murray so far the highest at, I guess, Jeff Wilson 32, Latavius Murray 34. Here's Todd Gurley at 29. Chase Edmonds was RB 23. But again, that's kind of more of a PPR boost for him. Naheem Hines had a pretty nice season, RB 17. So there are some outliers. If you see anyone projected maybe 800 to 1,000 yards, that guy's probably a nice flex position for you. Definitely an RB3 that you should consider drafting. Here's J.K. Dobbins, 925 yards, RB 27. DeAndre Swift, almost 900 yards, 18th in PPR. Austin Eckler, 933. He finishes 25th. Devin Singletary, almost 1,000 yards. He was RB 31. Gus Edwards in the 30s, Giovanni Bernard 30th, Naheem Hines 17th. The touchdowns kind of rolled, and the receptions helped Hines and Chase Edmonds. But there's definitely some really good input into these numbers that we should take away for drafting our running backs. So what I think we're going to do now is if you get the draft kit at the link below, I'm going to start typing up some of the rules that we just discussed. So I'll look at this a little bit harder. I just got done with these data tables earlier this afternoon, so I'm going to type up some bullet points and just some keynotes, and I'll kind of put those rules in there. Like if you see a running back over 1,000 yards, he is an RB2 plus. So stuff like that. So that's all going to be in there for you. Now, again, we kind of already talked about the percentages here. So let me I'm going to pull up my projections document here. And again, if you purchase the 2021 draft kit, it is a one-time payment of $15. You get access to this entire Google Sheet document that I have here, and I'm just pulling it up. If you can see at the bottom of the screen, I got QB tabs, I have PPR running backs, PPR wide receivers. You got all your positions in here for you guys. So I'm going to stick with PPR. I think that's my favorite format to play in. And what we're going to do now is we're going to filter by opportunity percentage. So the top 12 running backs on this list, Christian McCaffrey, I have almost up at 40% total opportunity share. Derrick Henry, number 2. Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley. If you're nervous about Saquon Barkley, assuming he plays 15, 16, 17 games, you're getting a top 5 running back in usage here in total yardage. You got Joe Mixon here at 5, Najee Harris, number 6, Ezekiel Elliott, Josh Jacobs at number 8, Mike Davis, Nick Chubb, David Montgomery, and Jonathan Taylor. I feel pretty strong about all those guys being, at worst, a top 15, top 20 back. Some of the guys here, Mike Davis, David Montgomery, Josh Jacobs, those guys are kind of sinking towards the back of the 4th and the 5th round sometimes now. Just looking at this data study here, Josh Jacobs last year finished with 1,303 total yards, a 20.69% data share here. And what I have him projected for, I have Josh Jacobs, this is opportunity share. I should probably filter by yard share here. Let me repeat everything that I just said. Okay, so not too much has changed here. The top 4 guys are still in play. Nick Chubb, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones makes the list. Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, and Austin Eckler. So now I am totally filtered here by the yardage share. You got Christian McCaffrey at 33%, and it ranges all the way down to about 21.93, which kind of correlates with the numbers that we just looked at here. I had a pretty good range, maybe off by 1% or 2. But again, when you do projections, you're kind of thinking everybody's going to stay healthy for the full amount of games. So my numbers are usually just a percentage or two up for the most part here. So all of the guys that you see highlighted on this list, I think they're all top 15, top 20 backs at worst, assuming everybody's healthy. If we go to the next group of guys here, ranked 13th through 24th, you got Ezekiel Elliott, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift, Mike Davis, Josh Jacobs, Cam Akers, Antonio Gibson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Chris Carson, Miles Sanders, Myles Gaskin, and Damien Harris. I think all these guys, really strong chance. Again, remember when we were talking, they're probably going to be in the top 30 of running backs. Now, Damien Harris is an interesting guy. We'll see if he gets the lead amount of carries in New England. He's probably the one guy that I would question the most of the top 24 on this list. And then we can kind of take a peek here at some of the names that just missed the cut of the top 24. We'll kind of go here to the top 36. And that's going to be Michael Carter, James Robinson, Ronald Jones, David Johnson, James Conner, Kareem Hunt, Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne, Chase Edmonds, Melvin Gordon, Raheem Mostert, and Nyheim Hines. Now, all these guys have a lot of questions that I'm not sure. Some people see them as running back twos. These guys are probably all, to me, best used as a wide running back 3 or a flex. So a lot of good data here. That's the yard share study. I'm going to be doing individual videos for the wide receivers and the tight ends. So if you guys like this video or found it useful, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new, leave me a comment if you guys think these yard stats are helpful for you guys. Because to me, when I drafted last year was the first year that I integrated target share, opportunity share, and yard share into my studies. And I had a very successful season last year projecting and drafting some really good lineups and had some success in my leagues last year. So I hope this helps. Thank you guys so much for your time. Have a good rest of your day, evening, whatever you need. Cool. Peace.